And now it's gone full circle. We're now worse than the Glazers. We are now being exposed to having player agendas just for our own gains. And we are more destructive, more divisive, more damaging for Manchester United than the Glazers. But we've heard this all before. We've heard this all before. People that give opinions being a bigger problem than the individuals running the clubs. It's an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Hit the like and share button. Let's go. Sigma here says, after the tweets I saw last night, we should forget Glazer out. I'd rather support Johnny, FX, Fleurs, Goldbridge, Saeed out. These guys are more poisonous than the Glazers. At least the Glazers want us to win and back the team. God knows what these guys support. And this may look like an isolated tweet, but it isn't. It's not an isolated tweet. There was many of them last night suggesting that this gentleman here, Adam, says that Goldbridge, Johnny, Flowers, he calls me, and several other big accounts started targeting Maguire, captain of Man United, and he hit rock bottom. Now they have turned their attention onto Bruno and Sancho. It's disgusting. Two of our most important players that will be key to United in the coming years. And this is what continually happens to content creators, fan channels, pundits, and whatever else it is around Man United. These Glazer supporters, these people pumping money into the club, these people that do not want to take accountability for themselves, realize, like the rest of us, that the Glazer out campaign is fading away, especially with Ten Hag making the team better on the football pitch. We all want the team to be better on the football pitch. It will make the protests die out. They're happening before games, but there's very little media coverage. The people running it don't have the biggest fan bases. No one cares anymore. And it's fading away. And it's very, very sad to see, but that's the case. So what do? They turn their attention and their negativity elsewhere. Instead of focusing on getting the Glazers out, instead of focusing on trying to get ticket prices down, instead of focusing on maybe just being happy, just celebrating your team getting better. No, we're going to find a way to lie, twist, and cheat things. And it's really interesting. The first tweet I saw was about Mark Goldbridge last night, saying Mark Goldbridge pushing an agenda against Bruno Fernandes, and it's working. I just hope fans won't hate on him like Pogba, because he has done nothing to deserve that. He's been nothing but fantastic for Man United since he signed. Now, let me just say this now about Mark Goldbridge. I didn't agree with his assessment last night of Bruno. I think Bruno was quite good. Or when I say last night, Thursday night, sorry. I thought it was quite good. Mark Goldbridge didn't. But it isn't an agenda from Mark Goldbridge. It's an opinion, and he is allowed to express it. We are not living in a communist society, and I never want Man United to become like this, although there's always this percentage of fan bases that want this thing where it's you don't say anything that doesn't toe the party line. You don't step out of your bracket. You're not allowed to express yourself. And of course, Goldbridge is the GOAT in this industry, and he has every single right to say what he wants. But these people want to kind of shut you down. Oh, you're starting an agenda. The irony in it is this: these people will pretend that you shouldn't do that to it. You shouldn't express dissatisfaction with a player because you might cause them hate. But they are very happy to lie about Mark online to create hate towards him. If you don't like what Goldbridge does, you don't need to go onto his YouTube channel, and you can block him. And then what you can also do, if you really want to, is mute the word Goldbridge, and you'll never see any content from him ever again. But you don't want that. You want to create hate. You're literally a hypocrite. You get the one accusing Goldbridge and myself, Johnny, and others for having an agenda against Bruno. Let me just point this out. How have I gotten this is how much of a liar this guy is. I probably overpraise Bruno, making up lies. These people are ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous. And this one here, stating that the Glazers want United to win and back the team, is an atrocity. And this is my issue with these people that I call top reds. These people that think they are better supporters, maybe because they've got season tickets, maybe because of the city of which they were born in. I am better. I toe the party line. I support my club. You don't really support your club if you're giving money to the Glazers. And I've noticed in the past couple of weeks, there are still some content creators twerking for the top reds that they're so desperate to be accepted. Please validate me. Please. Please make me the one fan camera. Please make me the one content creator that you all love and you like. I'm desperate for it. I know why they're desperate for it, because the match-going Reds have so much power in this fan base, and I get it. And the majority should be respected. because what they do for Man United is phenomenal. That support home and away is just out of this world. And I used to be part of it. And there are some tremendous people within those groups, there's no doubt. But some content creators are so desperate to be accepted by that group because of the ripple effect it has. And they're not prepared to call things out as they are. These individuals know that they are partly accountable for the Glazers still being here. They help maintain the share price. Even though it's dropped, it will become better over the next couple of years. The valuation of the club continues to rise. And of course, that is an outside situation that's doing that. However, you can crash that price by fans turning on the club. We're not going to go into any more detail on that because you know it's out there. The football terrace community, you understand it. You get it. You tell me all the time, we understand, Terry. Let's move on from it. So I'm not going to dwell on it any further. But these individuals are out there. They're on the attack. You shouldn't have an agenda against any player. Well, you can have an agenda. You're allowed to criticize. Debunk him. Debunk Goldbridge's opinion. I felt I did. Now, Mark won't agree with me. Mark will say, no, Terry, I disagree, mate. You know, I think you're wrong on this. I'll say, no, I think you're wrong on that. We don't literally smile because it'll be done by Twitter, but we kind of move on, from that point and from that position. But from my point of view, I kind of look at this sort of situation and I think about it quite a lot. I'm sick to my back teeth of these individuals coming out of their caves, coming out of their holes and spreading lies. That's the biggest issue I've got here. Challenge Goldbridge. Go on his channel. Debate him. Tell him why he's bad for the club. If you're putting out these crazy tweets, producing hate, rather than projecting it, it's absolutely ridiculous. And on the actual football side of this, when you go back to this comment here about Bruno, it's going to create hate like Pogba. Mark Goldbridge was a very big defender of Paul Pogba. And Bruno hasn't always been fantastic and does deserve criticism. This here about people are turning on our two most important players. No, Adam, you're wrong. This is where these fans annoy me. When Ryan Giggs, arguably the greatest player in Man United's history, is certainly in the top 5 in most people's opinions. When he, in the early noughties, was awful, he was getting booed at Old Trafford. Booed at Old Trafford. I've been in that stadium in the Stretford End when players have been booed for their behavior, booed for their performances, when performances have been booed. What's the difference between booing in the stadium and tweeting your dissatisfaction? Now, there's not suddenly go, Terry, but abuse is different. Yeah, abuse, I condemn it with everybody. But saying Bruno didn't have a bad game, saying Maguire deserves to be dropped, that isn't abuse. I understand social media puts a magnifying glass on things, and there's a percentage within every fan base who are desperate for nothing negative about their club to ever be projected out unless they gatekeep it and say, this can come out, this can't. This must be kept in-house, this can't. And I say, who the hell are you to tell fans what they can and can't say? As long as what they're saying isn't disgusting or abusive, there's no issue with it. We've seen it in Maguire recently, rightfully criticized, rightfully condemned. The information that come out via ESPN recently. Yeah. No, Maguire didn't say it personally, therefore it must not be true. Well, the journalist himself confirmed it didn't come from Maguire. Yeah, well, he's saying that it's true still. It must have come from Maguire at source, at the origination. Otherwise, the journalist wouldn't say, I understand why Maguire feels like that. So the journalist you're saying is debunking me is stating that he believes it to be true. Stop gatekeeping how people can support. Now, I know what your rebuttal to me is going to be, but Terry, you say these people shouldn't go to games and give your money. That isn't what I'm saying. I'm saying you shouldn't be giving the Glazers your money if you want them out because I believe you're going to keep them here longer. But if you want to go to games, you're more than free to. You're more than free to. I'm not telling you to stop just for the sake of it. I'm saying if you want the Glazers to go very quickly, you must cut the funds. Otherwise, they will stay for another 3, 5, 8, 10 years maybe. That's the point. I'll give you an opinion if you say something about a player I disagree with. But I'm not going to say you shouldn't be able to criticize. And these people are always trying to expose Mark Goldbridge, always trying to expose content creators as doing something wrong. And I get that's why, going back to the other point, there are certain Man United creators that they literally are sticking anything that, they're kissing backsides every single day these quote unquote top reds. And let me phrase what I tell you a top red is again. A top red is a Man United fan that thinks they are superior to others. And they're so desperate to be accepted by them. It is unbelievable. And actually, the fan channel community, the content community should come together and say, this is absolutely horrendous. And look, I'm going to stand up for Mark Goldbridge here. He may not be bothered by it. I don't know. I haven't asked him. But I think it's ridiculous the amount of people that are attacking him, the amount of people that are acting like he is a bigger problem than the Glazers. And I said at the top of the video, where have we heard this before? Do you remember when the Arsenal fans were singing, get AFTV out of our club? AFTV are the reason that Arsenal were failing. AFTV are the reason that we're going backward. AFTV have got to go. Do you remember when Robbie was being attacked outside the stadium? Do you remember all this? There was Arsenal fans that literally believed they were worse than the Cronkies in the way the club was being run. It's funny how Arsenal are now back flying. It's funny how now Arsenal fans are happy all around the world, but AFTV still exists in exactly the same way it used to. Fans tweeting that the Glazers run the club poorly, fans tweeting that they're unhappy with players' performances, fans making content, videos, making fan cams outside, does nothing other than shine a light on the problems at the football club. And any Man United fan, in my opinion, that is trying to suppress that is doing the club a disservice. You're actually not supporting the football club. You are suppressing the problems, which makes it easier for the Glazers to cover up. So shame on you. You call yourselves Man United fans, but I think the way you go around supporting the club is detrimental to it. It's your choice if you want to continue doing it. Of course it is. I'm just giving you an opinion. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm saying what you're doing is highly, highly detrimental to the club. Smash the like and share button, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care.